Welcome everyone to a new episode of Send Us Flowers. I have the amazing Alyssa here, and we have a brand new plant wall. This
Stunning.
is crazy. I'm so excited that you're here. I'm so excited to shoot today. This is awesome. I'm
pumped. I'm pumped.
Okay, I love your content.
Thank you.
You have such fun content. I've been following you for a minute. So today I would love to talk about, being a creator in weed. I would love to talk about, how you started smoking, your move to LA. I know you're not from here.
Yep.
And anything and everything between. I also want to see what's in your bag.
Okay, you already know.
Because you always have the coolest smoking gear.
Absolutely.
You're always talking about the best stuff in weed. And we'll just vibe, we'll smoke.
Perfect.
We've got dabs, we've got flour.
Perfect.
We've got coffee.
We got water.
We've got
Sun.
at least 3 drinks.
At least we talked about our 3 drinks, as everyone knows now, because it's a thing. But it's a 3-drink minimum,
3 drink
at
minimum.
Least.
At least. Okay. Well, what are your 3 drinks?
It
usually?
would always be some type of juice or like a fruity,
Juice,
whether
gotta
it's a
have juice.
green or it's like an orange juice, whatever kind of juice.
Yeah.
And then a water and a caffeine. Something that's giving me the energy. So
The
I want the
energy.
flavor.
Yeah.
I want the cleanse for the water.
Yeah.
And then I need the caffeine.
Yeah.
So whatever falls underneath those for you, go off.
Okay. I love that.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
What are your 3 though?
My 3. Oh yeah. Caffeine. Gotta have caffeine. Gotta stay hydrated. And then gotta have a fun drink.
Of course.
So those are my
Exactly.
3. And then I do a green juice because healthy.
Healthy. Right. Greens. Yep.
I don't know if green juice is actually healthy.
No, but it's green and it's
It
that's
could
all
be.
I got for you. It's green.
It's green. That's fine. Eat your greens.
Yeah.
You can drink your greens too.
exactly.
All right. So to get us started, I always love to start every episode by sending flowers because I'm sending
Okay.
flowers, of course, to you for
Yes.
being here. And I love passing just on that good energy.
Yeah.
So who are you sending flowers to today?
I'm going to be sending flowers to my wife, my girlfriend, but might as well call her my wife because it's been enough years to say so.
I love that.
Yeah, she's like my smoking partner for life. She's everything that you would want in a smoking partner. She's a Capricorn, such a driven human. So I just want to give her all the energy and love through
Ooh,
my
a Capricorn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you? You're a Scorpio.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I
it
said I
works
low-key
well.
stalked you.
No, period. Same though. Absolutely. I was like, I need to know. I need to be in the know.
Yeah. Okay, so Scorpio and Capricorn together,
Yeah.
that's pretty powerful.
Yeah. Extremely powerful.
What are those vibes like, especially while you're smoking?
Oh my gosh. It's so funny because I was looking at what we were talking about, how we saw a podcast mention, calling signs and
Totally.
what's the best sign to smoke with. And honestly, what they said about Capricorn was really true. They're going to be checking the stock market. They're going to be on their shit. They're going to be driven. They're going to be talking about their goals with you, what they want to do.
For sure.
And then I'm going to come in with my a little bit more emotional side, but also my driven as fuck side. And okay, cool. Let me plan that all out for you. I'll get your schedule. Here you go. Execute.
Okay, that's
in there.
so cute.
Yeah, it's pretty iconic.
Okay, so kind of a power couple.
Actually, I'm not even going to lie. Not on hype myself up or anything, but we do work with a few people as a team. And everyone
Really?
is it's so nice that you guys can work together as a couple too, because then you're just one. You're always together. You know what I mean? I always have a videographer and then someone who's very much planning. I manage a lot. So they're always it's great because we can just have one. We hire one and then it's we need the other thing. And we get them right away because we're just together.
Okay, that's so cute. So what kind of clients do you do this creative work for?
Yeah. So it's either in social media in terms of their platforms or socials, running stuff like that, where
Right.
she's doing their photography and I'm doing the actual management of it.
Okay.
It also stems to even outside of the industry, into music industry with musical artists and stuff, kind of discussing on planning their content while she
Right.
does the actual capturing of the content.
Okay.
So yeah,
So you guys are actually literally a power couple.
kind of. Yeah, it's actually funny because I always wanted this to be able to say that.
Yeah.
But now I feel like I can.
That's
so it's nice.
Okay, that's the cutest thing.
Yeah.
So how'd you both meet?
High school. We're high school sweethearts. Yeah, it's been almost 7 years.
Same with my boyfriend.
No, stop.
No, but you go on. Okay, so
Okay,
you
okay,
both
okay.
are high school sweethearts. I love that.
Yeah, high school sweethearts. We met when we were 16 or so. Almost been 7 years. Moved out to LA more or less together. And just have been here for a few years now. But okay, I want to hear about your boyfriend.
Okay, so we did meet in high school.
That's
We went to the same high school, but we didn't date or anything.
Okay.
And then we both separately of each other moved out to California.
Oh, okay.
And reconnected through a mutual friend.
Oh,
and
interesting.
Now it's 5 years later.
But see, that's fate.
I know. It is kind
no,
of
it's
fate.
destiny.
It's really crazy.
Sure.
And so, and yeah, and now we're here.
Yeah, that's
so
dope.
I really love hearing those kind of stories, especially because like, you know, that kind of friendship. It's not just like
it's different because they knew you when you were
it's
young.
so different.
You know? And
it's
like,
so cute.
They knew you through all that, even if it was in a different way than they know you now, you know? Like,
right?
They just knew who you were.
Because you're such different people. You grow, but you're also not at the same time.
No, exactly. They just like, knowing someone as a young individual, though, as like a young soul is so interesting to then see them as like an adult soul, a more mature soul.
Right.
And it's just, it's interesting. Interesting stuff.
So did you both smoke in high school? Like when did that kind of, okay.
So she definitely smoked more than I did. And it was definitely like I started to smoke more when she did. But I definitely tried it with my sister first. So my sister was like the first, like, I don't know, idol to me that was like smoking dry pipes. Like, like a baby one too, like that. It was real small. And she got me my first dry pipe as well. And yeah, after I just had someone else to smoke with, I think, like, aside from my sister, I was like, okay, like, this is going to be a thing. And come on, high school sucks. Like, we all go through shit. Okay. Like, had I not found my girlfriend and the cannabis in like a conjunction type of situation,
right,
it would have been shit. So like the fact that I did, it really did like save my life in so many different steps and ways. And I love that I found it so young. I also like, if I ever have kids, I would also say like, I also don't know how young I'd want them to start, smoking. Although I started quite young and like I'm fine. But I don't know, like I always want to be that cool mom, but like I feel like you have to like, I want to be able to talk them through it.
Right.
I never had anyone to talk me through using it.
How do your parents feel about you smoking? Like, did they know? What was that like?
So they found out, of course. They didn't love it. I got in trouble with both of them, smoking in the house when I wasn't supposed to. So this is the thing, right? Like, I was smoking in the house when I was supposed to. I was kind of skipping class more or less, but this is the thing. I graduated early. I was getting all A's. Like, it wasn't affecting my school or my life.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. And so I feel like a lot of people bring that argument to their parents or their family members or other people who just like don't really get it yet.
Absolutely.
And they're like, hey, but look, like it's not impacting my life in the way that
the moment
stereotypically people say it would.
Absolutely. And I honestly say this like, and I do mean it, like the moment that it does start to negatively impact me, like I would push it to the side,
really?
Or anything that starts to negatively impact me, I would take a step away from.
That is so honest with yourself. How do you check in? Like, what is that check-in for you?
Good question.
You're like, things start not going well.
Yeah, no, for real though. Like, honestly, there are times, like even now when I have to take a little bit of time off of dabs maybe, or maybe smoking less throughout the day because I'm just like, I feel that I could be more and be better in my productivity or be better in just my clarity sometimes even. Because becoming such a functional stoner, I think I can lose the fact that I don't have clarity and be okay with that.
Absolutely.
And it can be like scary to be in the clarity.
You kind of disengage a little.
Yeah. And it's scary to like re-engage entirally again because I have to feel everything again.
Oh my God.
Right?
Yes. I just got chills because I feel that so fully.
Yeah.
And that re-engaging is tough because then like the honesty with yourself, you have to be like, okay, like I might be doing too much.
Right. No, I might be doing too much.
And
like,
it might be to escape. It's not really, because like I do think that weed definitely has an intention to it.
Absolutely.
And if your intent is to not be present, like weed is gonna put you in your place. Exactly. It's gonna be like, no.
Right? Like nice try though.
It's like,
absolutely. I feel like it's a hand-in-hand idea with shrooms that like you should really use them intentionally and going through it with an intent. And if you're using it to escape the pain and stuff, like I hope you get through that, but it really should be more for the matter of feeling high or feeling relaxed or feeling, whatever. It shouldn't be necessarily to escape so much pain that you don't want to feel that clarity. You know? And it's okay to, like I said, escape it a couple of times, but making sure you can always hone yourself back into that clarity and always find that ground again, I think is important. So yeah, just checking in with yourself, just being able to be like, am I foggy? Like, do I know what's going on? Do I know what I want? Am I like accomplishing what I wanted to accomplish it?
Yes. Oh my God. I love, and so, speaking of accomplishing things, when did you and your wife, when did you both decide that you wanted to move to LA?
Yeah.
And, you know, especially because you're from Minnesota, right?
Yes.
So
right Midwest.
Weed is pretty illegal there.
Yes. So I think, I mean, don't quote me, but maybe 2016 or so, maybe a little bit after, it became, what is it, recreational? No, not medically.
Medical.
Thank you. Medically, legal. So, you know, you can do all that and it's decriminalized. So if they stop you, you'll just get a ticket. You know, you won't be like, you know, thrown in the boot.
That's not actually as bad as I thought.
No, but it was scary because that was only until I was like, 17 or 18 that changed. So the 4 years that I smoked before that, it definitely was scary. And, you know, there was even a really odd run-in with the cops that our friends had one time.
No.
But it was weird because it went so well. So we were just
It went so well.
It was
Wait,
weird.
no one says that.
No, it was so wild. I gotta tell it. It's so quick. So we were just driving and hotboxing the shit out of the car. Weed's coming out the car. There's smoke everywhere. Of course, the cop, you know, is like, wee, comes over and pulls us over. Comes over and pulls us over and is like, you know, what's going on? You guys got stuff. Like, we hit all our, you know, dry pipes and whatever. And we were like, no, we don't do that. We don't have that. Right? Like, hello. Okay. Do I look like I do that? Come on now. And
everyone meanwhile is like,
I know, they're like, girl, like, you reek, girl. Like, come on. Yeah. And then another squad car pulls up. We get all scared. And the other squad car eventually just pulls away. And the other guy was like, well, it's about to be legal here. So just be safe. Hello? In Minnesota, I don't know if anyone's aware of like the political climate in Minnesota right now, but hello? Minnesota cops being fine? Yeah. So anyway, great. Someone was guiding us that day. Someone was watching us, but
that doesn't happen.
No, but it was anyways, it's decriminalized, so it's chill there on that end. You know, my parents are like, you're an adult now, do what you want.
Right.
And they definitely support the fact that like I can support myself completely on just doing it. This isn't the only thing that I do, like being a content creator, but if I wanted to solely just do that, I could, which is really dope. But it definitely took some like convincing and some things to get there. But for the fact that like I got through school and did what I was quote unquote, you know, supposed to do.
Yeah.
They were like, okay, it's fine because, you know, you did what you were supposed to. So
what were you supposed to do?
You know, get good grades, go to college. And, you know, I played the game a little bit in the sense that I majored in dance and women's and gender studies. So like,
really,
you know,
that's so cool.
It's not like I went for psychology or something like for me, that would be draining. Like I loved intro to psych, but like 4 years of it would be a lot. But anyways, So I did, women's and gender studies. And that's why I'm so passionate now about like, specifically, I mean, finding my own, I don't know, like my own.
Your path.
Yeah, like my own path and my own discover of myself as a woman, as a Latina, supporting other Latinas, supporting other just women in general and having that true support. Because I grew up with such negative energy surrounding like women.
How so, if you don't mind me asking?
No, yeah. My mom was super supportive and great. She was very much a strong individual by herself. And I think that's why I'm like the way that I am. I'm very strong.
Yeah, that's important to have strong female role models.
Yeah, as a strong female specifically, yes. But I just think through media, really, because like I was a competitive dancer, so that's really all I did. I went to school and I went to dance, and everyone at dance was great. But through the media, of just the time that I grew up in, of where social media was like kind of hyping up and growing and everything.
Yeah, that's right.
It was really bad. Like Tumblr, you know, it was really bad with women and their bodies. It was the thigh gap. It was the really depressive, gross shit, you know, that like women strive to be. And that's where I think that came from. And I just think I internalized that for so long that when I got to college, I was like, fuck this. Like, I'm going to go into the history. I'm going to dismantle the system and do what I can. Like, support people then the way that like I wish I would have mentally done at a younger age.
Okay, that's the most beautiful.
Sorry, I'm like,
no, this is...
I'm like, bitch, you haven't smoked yet. Relax.
That's what we're here for, though. Yeah. And I think that I'm like looking at you like, that is so beautiful. That's a beautiful purpose. And in your content and everything you do, it so shines. Like it really does. And I think that's something that's so different about what you put out there is, I think there is this movement where women are becoming more comfortable being themselves.
Absolutely.
And that's a really weird thing to say.
I know, huh? I know. It's almost like, it's like uncomfortable almost because it's so not normalized
Mhm.
or common.
No, and especially in weed world.
Yeah,
and in
specifically,
music world.
specifically.
Honestly, in a lot of those worlds, it's
Mhm.
very male dominated. And so a lot
Absolutely.
of your identity can kind of be like, okay, well, I am who I am.
Right.
But to play the game, that's not always celebrated.
No,
Like,
no.
I have definitely had to tone myself down in
Oh,
rooms.
1,000%. And, you know, show a certain part of you, right? Maybe
Absolutely.
I'm more business today. Maybe I'm more
The
emotional today.
masculine
Maybe I'm
side.
more masculine. Like, it depends
Mhm.
on the audience. And it's honestly, in a sense, it's a superpower because us women can do that.
Yes. It's a softness and it is a
is.
superpower. And I think that one thing in your content that shines is that softness and
Yeah.
that celebration of it. And that, like, hey, I can smoke weed, but like we're also gonna do our makeup.
Yeah, like
and we're
I'm
gonna
not
do
a
a skincare
grungy,
routine.
like dirty, like I don't have a bunch of like junk around me. I don't have a bunch of dirty things. You know what I mean? Like you think of like, I feel like such
Which is like fine if you do,
of
but it's like
1,000%.
we see this one image
It's
of
just
a
the
stoner.
one stereotype of the stoner, which is why I say that. Not that that's a negative. It's just that
Yeah.
I'm
There
not,
can
and
be
a lot
so
of
many
people
different
aren't the
things.
stereotype stoner anymore, really. Anyways, like,
Totally.
and the stereotype isn't even as, I don't know. It's almost like it's just not valid anymore because we're all so different. There's so many people in the cannabis space, and the way we go about the
Yes.
way we smoke is all so specific and so individual.
So subjective, right?
Yes, that like
Oh
all
my
of it can be
God.
celebrated. It just all might not be the same because
Yeah.
it's so individual. It's not gonna be.
Oh my God, I totally
Right?
agree. Like even prepping for these podcasts and asking people like what their smoking preferences are and what kind of drinks they'd like to have around. Like
Right.
everyone is so different. Some people do have like, I have seen some like similarities.
Yeah, of
But
course.
you know, like for the most part, I'm like, this is fascinating,
Yeah, it
honestly.
is.
It's
It's
so
a lot
cool.
of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so what's in your bag? What
Okay,
what do
yeah.
you like? What are your preferences? What's
Okay,
your?
Well, let's start with I guess we'll just do my case quick. So I carry, often.
I love that stoners have like.
So I wasn't always this like insane about my glass, right? I'm only this insane with the case because of like, it's a glass artist and it's like special, and you know how that is, right?
Ooh,
Because
yes, I do. I've been
You can
learning
talk
about
about
glass
that.
care. Actually, my teacher had to talk with me yesterday. He was
Yeah.
like, "You have to maybe do a little bit
Right,
more," and I was like,
right.
"Yeah."
Yeah, and I think the glass artist world versus just like wholesale glass is just, it's very different, and that's fine
So
that it's different.
different.
But I don't think a lot of people understand that it's so different.
No, and they don't appreciate
And
it.
there's no, that's why there's a whole movement around supporting and glass artists and things like that. But I also understand not everyone wants to go out and spend $500 on a glass piece when they're also spending $200 on their terps and then $400 on their nail, and then like, I understand that, like, it's really just about the way that you enjoy it, and this is how I like enjoy it.
I love that. I
Like,
mean, that's beautiful glass.
the intricacy of it, and just like everything that takes time to clean it when I smoke. Like, I love that. It's like relaxing almost to me.
Yeah, it's your it's your
therapeutic.
ritual.
Yes, my ritual, my smoking ritual.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is a piece by Goliath. I have a highly educated nail on it. Just any type of cap, and this is like my most preferred way to smoke. If I'm smoking
Wow.
terps.
That's a gorgeous setup.
Yeah. So this is my friend. I have really fun other pieces at home that I wanted to bring, but I don't have pelicans that fit them yet.
That's
And
okay.
it's so important to have them.
Wow. I think you're the first person who's actually brought on that.
Yeah. No, it's a.
The cases have been getting bigger though, I'm not gonna lie.
No, they're huge. Are you
Like-
kidding me? Like, people bring like suitcases.
Yeah.
And people have their pendies in there and everything.
Mhm.
Like, oh my gosh, I couldn't.
Wow.
It's a lot. But okay, so when you were talking about me doing kind of cannabis and makeup and everything, this is what I kind of had to represent some of the cannabis stuff with my makeup. So I have this perfume from Drew Martin X Rhetoric.
Oh my God. Can
Yes,
I smell it?
Absolutely. They have a CBD version that's sold like online throughout, nationwide, whatever.
That smells so good.
And
that
then they
just
have
made me
THC
so
ones.
happy.
Yes, and it's terpenes that are, derived from cannabinoids that are for aromatherapy and just
Wow,
essentially
it's
a
so
really nice perfume.
Yeah.
Eau de perfume.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
So I have that. That's like one of my faves. I really love Latina owned, obviously, because
Yeah.
I'm Latina. So Canna Babe Lashes, her liners that are water activated and then essentially like glow in the dark neon.
What?
Yeah, so you just use a little brush.
That pigment looks crazy.
Yeah. I brought one of my newest ones. Yes, go for it. And then you just put water on your brush and put it in there and do some wings, or it's great for a night out.
You have to like hold that up
for literally just later. Like concept shoots too. Like it's bomb. Her lashes.
I bet that pops on camera.
No, that's what I mean, right? Like think of like shoots or content, like how fun that would be. Canna Babe lashes, great too. Same thing as her liners. And then I wanted to bring what was it? A wax cosmetic. She also is a Latina owned. Her name's Aaliyah. And she has these most beautiful CBD infused highlighters, as well as CBD infused lip glosses. And they're so, like, the lip glosses and the highlighters are so beautiful and so nice. And she's the sweetest. And she makes all of it herself at home. And, like,
oh my gosh.
Excuse me. It's very handmade.
There's drinks.
Right. She said.
I'm like, there's anything.
No, I'm actually going to crack it. But, yeah, she's dope. And so, obviously, I like to support my Latina owners.
Right.
You know, in this space. And I'm honestly just, like, not a big topical gal. So, I don't have a bunch of infused, like, cannabis stuff. But the stuff that I do have is very specific. And I do love it. Cause
I love those things. Those are so cute.
Yeah. So, that's mostly what I have. And then if I ever was carrying anything else, it would just be rosin. Rosin all the way.
And just rosin.
Just straight rosin.
Just wax all the time.
Absolutely. Very specific about it. I love it. It's delicious.
Okay, so who's your preferred wax brand?
Okay, definitely going traditional market would be this brand Puff and Solventless. He's super cool. Yeah, his hash is really good. He makes great fresh press. He makes great water hash. He makes great cold cure or rosin, whatever you want to call it. So many people call it different things. Rosin. Yeah, who else? Oh, I love Beachside, Sunfire Farms. Yeah, those are like probably the top 3 that I can think of off the top of my head.
What kind of terps do you look for? Like what calls to you?
I am specific. I don't love like a lemony, like it's not my calling.
Okay.
But I do like if I'm going for a terp, honestly, what is it? Garlic cocktail.
Ooh, anything garlicky.
Anything garlicky.
I love like earthy, garlicky tones.
I'm the
and
same
I love when
girl.
it just like you open the jar and it's just like bam.
Right, you're almost like disgusted, but it's so yummy.
Yes.
It's like
okay, but I love
yummy.
garlic like do you like garlic when you cook?
I do. I love garlic when I cook. Honestly, I wasn't a fan of it until I think I started smoking the terps because I used to be like
that's so interesting.
It actually is. I used to be like, because my girlfriend cooks for me. I don't cook. I don't cook. I'm not a cooking gal.
Okay.
She cooks and she always puts, garlic. She knows what she's doing. And I'm like, ew, don't put too much in. She's like, please. And then I smoke garlic terps pretty much. And I love garlic stuff now. It's delicious. But yeah, I love like a skunk with a little bit of maybe like an orange mix, but very faint.
Okay.
Very faint. But otherwise, if there's no fruity like mix or, tying a terp like that, gassy, skunky all the way. Like I love my stinky terps.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you feel about the sativa hybrid or indica like
classifications?
Yeah.
Okay. I definitely hear people when they say it that's like not a thing anymore. It's marketing. I don't know the scientific classification. Is it the shape of the plant or is it the form of the plant? Like it's not it doesn't
visually
I think it
different.
visually kind of talks about it more so than the effects of it.
Yes.
And I think, do not quote me.
Yeah,
like
right.
people in the don't be
no,
like,
yeah. It's fine if you
about.
know. We're just talking.
Like we're just talking. We're talking it out.
Yeah. We're figuring it out.
We're figuring it out together.
It is.
With
it's
all
true.
of us.
Yeah.
But so I believe that there were a lot of plants that then, if they looked a certain way, it overall made people maybe feel a certain way.
Okay.
And maybe that's why those things were connected.
Yes.
But I am curious how over time that came to be, if that isn't actually what it is.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. And so I have my
Yes.
theories, but also it is like the only way people really know how to talk about that because like You don't know, like on the East Coast in like Minnesota, you didn't get to ask anything.
No.
You just said, do you have weed?
Right.
There was no indica sativa hybrid. There weren't terps.
Right.
There's not any option.
There was a name they gave me that probably wasn't
made
even
up.
what it was.
No way.
I wasn't getting Blue Dream. Come on now. Northern Lights. Come on.
Do you think you've ever had...
No.
You already know
it doesn't exist. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I have no idea. But it's so it feels that way. It feels so infamous. Blue Dream is an infamous strain, okay?
We've never had the real one. We don't even, no one even knows. No one even knows.
What is it? What does it look like? Let me know.
Oh my God.
I think it's funny though because I do think it stems from the same time that like Pineapple Express was hyped up. But those strains, in the way that we like weed now, would be considered boof. If it's grown, you know what I mean?
So a ton of people have actually come on here and said like they're like, no, I love Blue Dream, like, and I don't care that people speak down about it. And like the thing is too, there's so many strains that are like landrace strains, and so like there are kind of these historic genetics, but over time. I mean, how do you preserve that? Like, what is a stable genetic? Like, you know, to achieve that is so difficult.
I can't even imagine. And with the lack of like research and just like time that people have legally been able to do this.
Dark.
Like,
And so I am I'm really curious on how that's gonna like move forward, because on the one hand, I totally am like, okay, we need a different classification system, especially as like testing and all this stuff comes to be. But also, why are we like, no one can have the same conversation or be on the same page yet. And so to like speak down about it or like whatever, like, I don't think that's the right approach either.
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
What do you think?
I've only heard people say that would have been necessarily kind of considered that based on our standards of weed now. But I don't think that I've seen like Pineapple Express or Blue Dream like true in its truest form. If I have, I didn't know it, or I was told it was it and it wasn't it. You know, so that's why I'm like Blue Dream or Pineapple Express, when in fact it's like, girl, you've never smoked the real ones actually, you know, so that's another thing too. Like,
aren't most things just a hybrid at this point?
That's why I almost was gonna ask you that question too, because I was like, in my opinion, like it's all hybrids. Like it's really just like we kind of said, like a little bit of a marketing ploy. Like there is some difference in the sense of like the visuals and the appearance, but like you said, I think it got lost in translation with the visual into the effects, and that's where same with the percentages. Like it just got so wrapped up in it mattering so much and it making such a difference. When in reality, that's not what you should be looking for when you're looking for the plant, right? You should be looking for your terps. You can be looking at the appearance if you're an appearance girl, like go off, like you care about what's on the outside.
Okay, yeah. So for example, like this weed is definitely, and no offense, but they both smoke incredibly well.
THC design is great.
PS. So this is like historically by, you know, photography standards. Right. This is pretty weed.
Right.
This is not as stereotypically pretty, but damn does it smoke.
But it hits.
It hits. And it's just really dense. Like it's that like denser nug. And so like which of these then, because they look completely different. So then I would want to know, like, I'd have to pull it up, but to see, like, okay, is this then indica or sativa? Like,
based on
now
what
I'm
the
just
bud
kind
looks
of
like.
rambling. I don't
No.
But
yeah, it makes sense. And honestly, even with these, like, depending on how long they even stayed in the jars as well, too, like if they were sitting in dispos and stuff, they'll also look potentially more dense and quote unquote dry when in fact it went in there fluffy and quite sticky. You know? So
there's so many factors.
There's just so many factors.
But the ability for people to even have those factors, like we have to remember how lucky we are now. That is, and how lucky we are. Like, okay, so full circle. I don't even think I think we like went in a whole tangent. But like, you know, why did you move to LA?
Yes,
because It's such a crazy move.
Yeah. So I always like kind of grew up kind of wanting to be a California girl.
Yeah.
My mom like randomly would always tell me I was like meant to be in California.
That's so cute.
Yeah. So I applied to college here, my high school, when I was a senior, and I ended up going to DePaul in Chicago for my first year. I was a little bit closer to home. You know, it didn't feel so crazy to move 2,000 miles away by myself at 18. So then my sophomore year, I transferred to Loyola Marymount University in Westchester, California, kind of by Marina Del Rey.
Got it, yeah.
And I went to school there for 2 years, and I graduated. Yeah, and I just stayed afterward. Like, I fell into what was at the time a great job for me in social media.
Yeah.
It also happened to be in the cannabis industry. 6 months before I actually had gotten that job, I started my Instagram page. And I like reached out to a glass bong company, and the person who was running their social media was like, let's talk. And they were at the time were really interested in what I was interested in terms of actually working, not just like doing a collab post, but I actually wanted to be hired and like work. So she got that, and we worked together, and then, you know, we moved on from each other and did other things after like a year and a half of working together. And now I'm still in social media, just like freelancing a little bit in cannabis industry, and then mostly in the entertainment industry in terms of like TV shows and movies that are on Netflix, HBO Max, things like that. So that's that. I don't know why. I guess I went all there, but LA is just like, it just became a home after college. I love knowing
people's stories.
Yeah, it just became a home, and I found. I really tried to, especially because I graduated during COVID. I graduated of May 2020.
Oh my gosh.
So like,
yeah.
So
that's different.
Yeah. So we had spring break in March, and we just never went back.
That must have been so insane,
so
right?
I was just at my apartment doing, unfortunately, what was really expensive school from my computer too.
Oh my God.
And like doing my, you know, theses, like from, you know, it sucked, but it's fine. We got through it. And so I was doing my college or whatever, and I was just like, I need to find a job for something that I can stay in LA. Otherwise, like, I'm going to have to move back home.
Right.
So I found that job and kind of just realized that cannabis and social and the entertainment industry, because I've always been in dance, has always been my passion.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of navigating that world right now. I'm also like a dancer right now, working through that.
You recommitted though.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah.
You do have to kind of recommit to this place every few years and be like, we still doing this? And you're like, yeah.
Yes, no, that part. Me and my girlfriend are all the time, we're like, is it the time to reassess? And we're like, nope, we gotta stay on it. We gotta keep pushing.
Yeah.
We'll reassess when it's time to reassess. It's not time to reassess.
Yeah, no,
time to keep pushing, you know?
I totally feel that.
Yeah.
It's different. And so, you know, in weed world, like to have access in different places, or the lack of access, honestly, and then come to California, like my mind was blown. I didn't even know there was something like CBD weed.
Was blown.
Like people were like, oh yeah, we have to pick up CBD flower for this shoot because they can't get too high. And I was like, you can tell people what kind of weed you want.
Why did you just like tell my story? That's crazy, because I was literally two things I was gonna say. One, going to the trap shops before 2018.
It was awesome.
When you were buying those fat backwoods that were rolled. You were buying, honestly, that fire weed for $25. Like,
dude, the trap shops were the best.
They were like, they'd be dabbing in there with everyone, you know, like
dabbing. You'd get those nice rose petal blunts. So hard to find now.
Dude, you'd actually get some good stuff, like of quality stuff, because it didn't have to go through everything. That. Me too. It was a vibe, and
I just got chills. I was like thinking of so many things,
right? Like, God, yeah. I'm first moving here and getting that as my experience. I was like, this is amazing.
Oh my God. And all the little, like, there's still weed parties, but definitely not
it's just
the
different.
same.
No,
like, it's different. There'd be the cutest, like kind of like beauty. Like girly stoner days. And it would just be a ton of different vendors of like all these different women, and they would be doing like massages, or someone would be doing like, I don't know, maybe we need to bring that back, honestly. I just haven't seen them recently.
No, and it's hard to cultivate such a, I don't know, such an energy and such a vibe when it was.
It's a great energy. It's such a good community. It's how I met so many friends. When
1,000%,
totally.
1,000%. It was good times. Yeah, I definitely even remember, like you said, going to shoots and having them be like, you need to stop at this like CBD shop and pick up this weed. And I'm like, it's so funny, because at the time I didn't know enough about CBD. So for me, I'm like, I'm buying fake
Totally
weed
new
for this
world.
shoot because we can't really smoke weed, you know, like at this shit. And I'm just like, oh my God, it was so funny and just fun, like, and cool. Yeah, it was cool. Good times. Good
What
times.
a time.
Yeah.
That's what an amazing like journey. And so
Mhm.
now all these other states and people
Yep.
are like learning about these things. And so when we have these conversations
Yeah.
of like indica and sativa and what weed does what and what's a terpene and like this is all like
Percentages.
who the fuck knew percentages? Everything was a mystery. If you
Right.
had edibles,
Right, bye. I'm just gonna take it and hopefully I feel something. Like, I don't know how
or
much is
not
in
too
here.
much.
Right. Like literally.
Like I'm
Like-
either not gonna feel anything or I'm gonna be asleep for
Or
3
I'm-
days.
exactly.
There's nothing in between.
Not even a little bit. Nope. Because none of it's dosed, right? Come on, we're putting in some oil and butter. Like, I don't know how much is in here. Weed, that's what's in there.
No, and so now I think we have to have
Mm-hmm.
more openness when we discuss these things because like especially on social media and in the comments like the like weed like you know snobs and like
It's a thing.
it's so a thing
It's a
and
thing.
I don't even know like half the states don't even have access to weed. How can
I
you be
know,
a weed snob?
I know.
Like, that's
Dude, honestly, that's what happened when I kind of like joined the heady community with these pieces and these things because
Mhm.
it's a thing. You know, and I loved it because of the pieces, but it very quickly turned into it is kind of like a snobby vibe and it is kind of that and it's just like
and I can be a weed snob sometimes.
no,
For
that
sure.
in comparison to like someone like you said who doesn't have any access, of course. Like, but there is like something that like I like to take a step back and just like appreciate it. And it doesn't need to be about having the best or being the best. Just the fact that like I have access to great product. Can't we just like be happy with that? We don't have to
Right.
be like, well, this is this percentage or this is another wash and it's cleaner than that one. Like, oh my God, come on.
Yeah.
Just smoke the weed. Like,
Yeah, and let's also like have more open conversations about
Yeah.
like, you know,
explaining it.
explaining it
What
and
it
like
is.
yes, and like
Yes.
what things are and asking like, okay, well like it says it's an indica, so what does that mean?
Can-
like
right.
beyond it's gonna make you sleepy.
Right.
Or
In the
whatever.
couch.
In the couch. Okay, I would in college.
Because I couldn't remember the difference.
Neither could I.
So I was like, indica couch. I don't want it. Got it. Like literally, I couldn't remember that shit. Come on. I just learned about it.
Oh my God.
I'm in college. I'm trying to remember other things. Yeah, I'm glad you knew that reference too.
I really had no clue. I never knew.
No.
And I actually think I thought of that first when I was really high. And I said it to someone else and I was like, I thought of this thing. And they were like, no, you
You're
didn't.
like, oh, it's
you,
cute.
You didn't think of that
So
on your own
cute.
at all.
They're like, you're new to smoking, huh?
You're like, this is your first time, right? And I'm like,
You're like, no.
second.
God, well, that's another thing too. Like we know everything once we've smoked once. We know how to roll. We know how to
do
smoke
all of it. Yeah, for sure.
Okay,
No.
what are your favorite smoke tricks? Or do
My
you like
favorite
smoke
tricks? Oh, I can do so I can do O's sometimes
Okay.
kind of decently.
Okay.
And then I can do like the French inhale and then I can do that thing where it's like that
The bane.
like the
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, you're talented.
So I can do some of those, but I
Bag
can't
full
do
of
the
tricks.
ghost.
Okay.
What about you?
Wait, interesting. That's like one of the only ones I can do.
Really? Can you do it?
Yeah,
like with
yeah,
this?
yeah.
I don't know what the airflow is in here,
Here,
but
let's see. I actually might do it with this. Might be easier.
yeah. Okay, what is it about carts that does make it easier?
It just that's solid smoke. Honestly, I'll probably choke if I try to do like a ghost with a bomb.
You were like looking at that like
Also,
don't
I
know.
was like, I hope you're not gonna offer that because that's not gonna work. I was gonna like preface too. I haven't really coughed that much, but I was gonna say like I'm a cougher, so like get ready because
okay.
I'm choke. I don't know. It's just a thing. I've been smoking for years. Okay, it's not that I'm inexperienced. Okay, let's see.
All right, just pulling the vape. We're gonna try to see if we can get a ghost. Oh, it's almost there.
It's not enough smoke.
I feel you. It does have to be a lot of smoke to really ghost it. It has to be like kind of a milky cloud. That sounds gross. Sorry.
Okay, I did it, but it wasn't
I'm sorry.
milky out.
I'm sorry.
That's iconic.
I shouldn't have said that.
No, but you're right.
It does have to be kind of like a milky cloud, and then you like suck it back in.
Mhm.
But I try to do it, and I've tried to do it on camera, and I look absolutely insane every time. I'm just like,
I will
like
say
biting at the air, and like
it has taken me like years to perfect like that subtlety to it.
mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, some people are just like,
I know.
And I'm like,
literally.
what?
See, my question is, how do you, when you're just like smoking a blunt or a joint or whatever, just something that's like a continuous smoke, how are you inhaling if you're not ghosting? I genuinely, I don't know
think
how
you're
now.
inhaling. You can't,
Mm.
because like there's no way. Because
Right.
when I do like the O's, I have to like, you have to like let them
like marinate, Loki.
It's just like in your mouth, and it's the milky cloud.
It's a thing. It needs to be milky. And then you're like sticking your tongue out and making your mouth a shape and like going to the ceiling, you know?
So ugly. It's the craziest.
And like you got that long
thing.
chin. Oh, it's just a lot. It's a lot.
And so it just kind of sits there though. Like if you inhale it, I feel like then you're exhaling it. Thus it's like filtering it almost, and it's not all the
that makes sense
cloud. This is not a science podcast.
But I'm tracking. So if I'm
just so everyone knows.
No, I'm following, so it makes sense to me.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So with I wanted to ask you actually, with the weed snobbery thing, do you have like a big pet peeve? Or like a big Sesh pet peeve?
I have a big Sesh pet peeve. Okay, I would say not having something like relatively clean. Like it doesn't need to be crystal clean, but if it's clearly like been built up on there for a while, or like you know what I mean? Like ish. Like it's okay too. Like just let me know to bring my own. No worries. Like you can smoke on yours, I'll smoke on mine. We'll be good, you know? Or when people, I even hate to say this, but it honestly only often happens with men. But when they like try to like do it for you, or like oh, let me do it because like they don't want you to mess it up or something. I'm like, my guy, come on. Do you see my piece? Do you see my nail? I'm not gonna torch it. I'm not gonna chaz it all jacked up. Like, also, if you're gonna be like, just don't bring it to the sesh.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. I just don't like that. Like, oh, let me just do it for you. I'm just like, well, I'm okay.
True.
Like, I'll just pass.
Yeah. No,
like,
I don't like that. I don't like that either.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like this thing that makes me feel just like, okay, you know how to smoke, but I don't. Like,
it's totally it's not a helpful thing.
Yeah,
like
explain it too. Like we talked about with the, the terms, like explain the terms, and if you want me to understand.
It's more of like like I've never seen that as a helpful thing. Like people have asked me if they're new to like a bong or like how to take a dab. They're like, can you help me, or like pull the bowl or whatever.
That's different, yeah.
But that's so different. Like if someone's coming over and is like, oh,
let me do it for you. Or
you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't feel like that's helpful. I feel like that's more like of a put down and isn't something that makes it an enjoyable experience. It's just like this person is just looking down on me.
Yeah. Like I can't handle their stuff, or like I'm
and then
like,
you're high, and then you're just sitting with that vibe.
Exactly. It's that part. Because it's like the energy, the tone that it sets in like the room.
Yes. It's not just that.
No,
it really is more.
Mm-hmm. It is, because like when you're smoking too, like energy and vibes and just like tones and stuff are so important to have, and good ones, obviously. So once like there's just been an odd tone set, it's just weird. And I'm not even talking about too when you have like a nicer piece and you're just like, can I, like it's new, like I just want to be the only one to touch it. Like that's also a different vibe too. Like you're also allowed to say that. It's more of like the energy of like, you don't know what you're doing, or like ask me too. Maybe I do. Maybe I do know what I'm doing. You don't know that. Like just, it's just weird.
Yeah.
What's yours? Like what's your number one?
My number one, oh man, not having like a cozy atmosphere. I like, if you're having a sesh, like it's gotta be cozy. Like I want to have snacks. Like, let's order food. Let's, like have a blanket maybe.
Yes. No, it was iconic when you were like, like, do you want any snacks or anything today and stuff? And I was just like, oh my God, yes. Like, that's like what it should be. Like you said, a sesh. Like, it's a sesh. We have drinks. We have snacks.
It should be curated.
Like,
there should be like
yeah.
maybe some music.
Right.
Like, what's the entertainment? Like, I want to be, you know, wowed. I want to be
completely and entirely. Like, it's a whole, this is the thing we said, smoking is, there's an intention. It's a whole vibe. It's an experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a moment in time.
Yeah.
It is a specifically curated moment. Even if it's in your car,
Mm-hmm.
we all know the hot box vibe.
Yeah.
That's an experience.
Yes.
Like
candles, incense.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I want
candles,
this
fall
sense
candles.
to also be like,
yes.
I don't, like, I love the smell of weed.
Yeah, but it's.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
tell
I
me.
do have a question. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, do you think that there is a perfume that is like best with weed? Or to not maybe even fully cover it, but like maybe even complements it? Or do you have like a favorite? Because I feel like you might.
Okay, high key, it would either be this herbalist one, just because it kind of smells like it, but it truly is a perfume.
Mm-hmm.
But if you obviously want to get away a little bit from like the weed kind of smell, I would say right now, honestly, I'm loving, I think it's called Eros from Valentino. It's more of a masculine smell. I will say I'm like really into the masculine woody cedar like smell.
YSL has a really good men's cologne. I don't know what it's called, but it's, I know you probably.
I already know.
Yeah.
It's probably so bomb. Yeah, there's there's a Dolce & Gabbana one that's really good too.
Ooh,
but if we're going like more of like fruity smells or like sweet smells, Her by Burberry. That's the one I love.
Oh my God. I can't believe you just said that. My brother and I were just looking at that at Ulta the other night.
No, it's actually so nice. Like, it's my favorite perfume. And it's funny because I wouldn't say that any of those perfumes like maybe even cover your smell, but they smell so good that that's what people will smell, you know? Even if you have weed on you. So those are definitely the ones I'd recommend. Would you recommend the Her too, or what would you recommend?
Yes, okay. I totally would. And then I like Flower Bomb, and I like Chanel.
Oh, yes.
Oh, an Alien by Thierry Mugler or something. It's really nice. It's a very, you might like it because it's kind of like, it is muskier.
Yes.
It definitely is like a little more masculine leaning. My mom, she does not vibe with it. I was telling her I was shopping for perfume.
She was like, what is this? Cologne?
And then I told her I bought that, and she was like, are you sure that's what you wanted? And I was
like, I bought it, so I'm going to go with the yes. Gosh, like, moms are like that.
No, she's so sweet. But sometimes she will just come out of the woodwork
but it's just
with
like comments. It's just like, come on now.
And it's just like,
where's the filter?
So natural and like
so instinctual.
Casual. And you're like, damn.
Yeah, you were ready for that.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, and then I had one other question for you.
Okay, yeah.
So a big controversy recently, and it's not even a controversy, but a lot of people have been talking about hemp blunts and like tobacco blunts. And if you can call a hemp wrapped joint or whatever like a blunt. Or like an El Blunto. Like those are like hemp wraps.
Right.
And so what is your take on that? There's literally a piece in High Times right now about it. I've asked people before, and it's become like a thing.
Interesting. I mean, I think 1,000% you should be able to call a hemp joint a blunt because it visually looks like a blunt. I will say I know there's green ones and some that don't visually appear that way, but for the most part, if we're using any type of wrap aside from a paper, it's been a joint. It doesn't really matter the wrap as long as it's a wrap, right? Because it can be different. It could be one of those 99-cent wraps that look more similar to the hemp wraps, or it could be a backwood. It could be a Dutch, you know, it could be actual tobacco like leaf. Hemp wraps are obviously healthier for you. Well, I guess in comparison to tobacco. But yeah, I think you definitely should be able to call them that because in general, like a lot of tobacco is not even allowed at places with cannabis anyway.
Totally.
So I think that in general, people have already started to kind of, I mean, there are people that love their tobacco and just not going to give it up. That's fine. But in general, I think a lot of the industry starts to lean towards if they ever make a tobacco product, they end up turning it towards a hemp because they just realize that it's going to do better.
Yeah.
And that It's easier to sell at places. It can be with the weed at the same place. You know, it can be sold together and you can still utilize it like a wrap.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know why there would be a controversy over it because it's just like it's a preference, right? It's the same type of thing. Yeah. Do you have an opinion on it? A take?
Yeah, I think just call it what you want to call
Yeah.
it.
What? Like that's what I'm thinking. Like, and who's calling it a hemp joint? Because what the?
It's so much easier to just say it's a blunt.
It's a blunt because it's a blunt.
And then I can maybe say like
it's
it
a hemp
doesn't
wrap
have
or
it's a
something.
hemp
Yeah,
wrap
that's
like
what I would
with
do.
it, but I'm not
Exactly.
gonna say like it's a hemp
If you honestly came up to me
joint
and
or like
said, "Do you want my hemp joint?" I honestly would say what?
I feel
Like
like
what?
also a lot of people just don't really smoke tobacco anymore.
It's true.
It's just not as common. And so to be honest, okay, now to really like dig in my heels.
Let's do it.
I think that more people who are incoming smokers are going to be exposed to hemp wraps
Yes.
as a blunt.
As their tobacco.
And so the meaning I think is shifting and
right?
will more permanently shift, especially as wraps and tobacco and even flavored tobacco become less available.
Exactly.
So
honestly,
that's my professional take.
No, 1,000%. Back home when it was like 2015 or something that they killed off any flavored tobacco. So when that happened, a lot of our stuff shifted to a lot of different things that whether it was flavored, any other thing that they could get their hands on because tobacco no longer could be. So it's definitely a different future we're looking at. And like we say, like the cannabis industry is so new in terms of like legal stuff, in terms of just in general, like no, the idea of cannabis and being as a community like is not new, but like just with all of the processes and everything is just so new that it's going to be shifting every 6 months, like
totally
for years to come. So
yeah.
Who knows what it's going to even look like in the next, year, like 6 months, or maybe they'll start having tobacco being allowed with kids. Who knows? Like,
wouldn't that be wild,
right? Like, I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll let you drink in the same areas that people smoke. I don't know.
Oh my god, like with lounges.
I know.
Okay, that's like a whole other thing. Okay, I'm gonna wrap us up, but yeah, I'm gonna have you come back on so we can specifically talk about lounges because like all of those things together would be awesome. Okay, before we go, do you have anything else that you want to share? Any upcoming things that you want people to look for? What's going on in the life of Alyssa?
Yeah, well, I am gonna potentially. I'd love like stay on my Instagram. I'm
For
always
sure,
gonna be
where
on there.
can people find you?
Mostly on Instagram. Lyss Parra, 3 S's. That's my name on there. Yeah, it's mostly where I'm going to be. On YouTube as well, just as Lyss Parra. But, hold on, you can just hear this. It's really dry in my throat. Sorry, guys.
Capri Sun ASMR.
I needed it. Okay, it sounds so much better. Okay. Anyways, okay. On YouTube, I'm potentially want to do, me and my girlfriend just got a new car. A Tesla, and I kind of want to like
congrats.
Thank you. I kind of want to incorporate like weed with it. So there's some things that I might be doing. So stay on my YouTube to see some potentially fun videos. And my Instagram I'm always doing my self-care, my makeup infused with basically cannabis in a sense that I just collaborate the two. And yeah, make videos about the way that I live my life because that's truly like what I do and how I use everything.
I love that.
And on Depop, Passe, me and my wife's vintage shop.
Ooh.
That's what we do. That's non-cannabis related, but we do together. So yeah, just like follow along. I'm like all over the place. So like there's always new stuff to like stay
always
up
a
on.
Side quest.
Yeah.
For sure. I get that. Okay, cool. Well, thank you all so much for joining another episode of Send Us Flowers. This was so much fun.
No, this was bomb. Are you kidding?
Thank you so much for being here. This was awesome. I love talking just about
me too.
All of those things.
Me too. I love people that like are just passionate about it and like want to talk about cannabis too. And
right?
Like, on that level too.
Yeah.
Not like farther than like let's smoke,
Yeah.
On
and having like
level.
Open conversations.
Yeah.
That's just like I
Me
love
too.
it. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, everyone, and we will see you next week.
Yes.